Enra ana confirmation eba say His Excellency John Dramani Mahama say wayehwe ha hu say Ghana fu twa adwajo eba fuel prices na say eto dwana anti diesel liter of diesel what is 2 cedis abusiafo na asem ba amanfo kire omaje amanfo boy His Excellency John Dramani Mahama ba so amanfo so complain say fuel price na no din and na energy expert with Benjamin Insiasa we kwa de only temporary nya aban for because the cause Israel and US in terminal ha on my way pie in terms of fuel prices. Then ya Ghana nkwa across the globe. You better head of pricing at National Petroleum Authority, Abbas Ibrahim Tasunti. You better nka on His Excellency release then one they buy say ya take diesel to 2 cedis to cushion Ghanaians for 1 month. I will go through the full statement. Now, the energy expert so I didn't right here on so show. Oh, try and subscribe. Oh yeah. Bell notification icon over turning on video no drop here once feel free to leave your comment in the comment section over share link no na for anya bi ahwe dewa lel flower green clean solution center you so ebo mo da wuro say by far in this country we are the best in terms of cleaning services and to a cleaning company power mama be press you feel office check bank institution ama hoye kama no pa wi anwumre hoye hwam dia mesrew we are the best for me die to for numbers no good screen so ka kra bi de bejo ya be twa yopo e the amount. Now, backhomeassist.com abama omomuwa abuchiri ya abusha for uye project Ghana hanum sia uwa abuchiri wuni entino. Ya professional group friend number ne good screen so at never share yensa. U project na we ne beka converse to ni ya monitor the situational report, real time report. Enya abusuafo ne namfo de ni bia wokwaro mu omokoharo mu twa wontro e de build na do lentilo ya boso ya paint ye onim da be Backhome Assist a registered professional group abusuafo ya base o aburuchira ya be ye wo errand boy your eye and your hand in this country the bacho MCC log on to the website backhomeassist.com backhomeassist.com obabi na wo Ghana hanum se no school ana woni Ghana hanse wo hanka abekwa akosra no abusia wo de fe wate na fa share se ebekwa monitor bibia pese monitor bia wo Ghana ha bia be ye yopo e de amone the real time update report kama pa e de amount ebe te se wo ka sa wo Ghana hanum se ya wo monitor project no abusia hwe wo screen so eno na statement we ba ye as a President John Dramani Mahama orders 2 cedis reduction in diesel price. His Excellency John Dramani Mahama has directed that in line with the decision of Cabinet and the successful intervention of implementation in April 2026, the regulatory margin on diesel be reduced by 2 cedis per litre for 1 month. Next, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, according to statement on the Cabinet, a meeting and monitor fuel prices na air cost no busiafo na omo reach consensus say a liter of fuel biano and a liter of diesel biano munche ni yo yentese 2 cedis chale 2 cedis enye sika keto in terms of liter of diesel. Now this temporary intervention is intended to cushion consumers, prevent transport fare hikes, contain inflationary pressures and mitigate the pass-through effect of the higher fuel prices on the cost of living. President say, "Omo take this decision because person Ghana for here omo kakra." Say be ya commercial drivers no omo to lorry femu. Say be ya omo betimi a containing inflationary pressures any ade. This directive shall take effect from Tuesday, August 4, 2026, and shall remain in force for 1 month unless otherwise reviewed by government. Let's just say according to statement, we about 1 month and I say yeah, government Enya adwempo bi se e also mu review no sachira enyemam. The government will continue to monitor developments in the international energy market closely and take additional policy measures where necessary to protect the interests of the Ghanaian people and sustain economic recovery. I think His Excellency here Debia Maavia Bas was me born abasu because Charlie, this is not the first time he has moved to cushion Ghanaians above fuel price cost. We know say fuel prices na cost no nya aban ne fault. And near a determine fuel prices or the better energy expert nenka CD dollar conversation ka ho. But at least we know that the CD has been relatively stable in the last 18 months. In the international market no and prices in the cost. Fine, I started a dropping and now me checking I think $83 or so. I started a dropping, but to when cost will use US in term. Sorry, Iran need US in term. But no crano, this is the second time I buy who say and near man and I say fool and a cost na say transport unions no air transportation be increasing lawyer fare by affecting you the ordinary Ghanaian. Na bana movie said the be yentu ye NTM ne yente so to we 2 cedis na ye na ye to diesel ne petrol no yenim say 2 cedis enya de kuma o per liter and imagine say o car fa 70 liters o car fa 60 liters na liter of diesel at least 2 cedis multiply 60 times 2 160 and 120 Ghana cedis enye sika keto eba fuel prices ho nsensem a nti abushafo eno ne his excellency John Dramani Mahama me ye obeka se me just a mere commentator yenkwere nkotie Abbas Ibrahim on the head of pricing National Petroleum Authority and na mo de agu kwam to ensure say the directive from His Excellency is fully enforced and implemented.
Further reduction, maybe in the next pricing window in the coming days, based on your own observation of what's happening on the international front?
With regard to that request, that is something that I cannot directly respond to. We are the National Petroleum Authority, only implement the directives or the policies or decisions that government has taken or has taken. And so just like we were directed today, the 2 cedis is what government has decided to do in the meantime. It's important to note that this 2 cedis reduction in the price of diesel is more or less sacrificing some of the regulatory margins, which also have specific uses if you look at the structure of the price build-up. If you look at the primary distribution margin, which has been zeroed now, that is what that's the margin that pays for the cost of moving the product from the coastal depots here in Accra to the other depots in the hinterland like Kumasi and Bupe for consumers there to have. And so sacrificing this means it's coming at a cost. To look at the other margin like the UPPF, the Unified Petroleum Price Fund, which currently is a negative. So which means you have to look for money from somewhere to fund the cost of moving products from depots to filling stations for consumers to have access. You could tell that this is coming at a high cost. In fact, if you look at the consumption of diesel, this intervention of 2 cedis per liter is going to cost us over 520 million cedis for the 1 month period. And so it's a major intervention that has been done. I mean, as much as some consumers think it is little, it is to reduce the burden on them. And so doing nothing at all would have been worse. And so I think for now, the decision government has taken is that 2 cedis should be reduced. The margin should be reduced by 2 cedis whilst we monitor the international markets. If you remember when this was done in April, after a while when the prices started coming down on the world market, it was restored. And so we would have to monitor to see how it goes.
Right. Over 520 million Ghana cedis. That's how much you say this 2 cedis reduction is going to cost you in this month. 520 million cedis.
Yes. Yes.
I see. But then I'm looking at what's happening on the world market right now. Brent crude is trading at about $83 a barrel. It's a reduction of about 7% as of this morning. We've seen a downward trend. But because of the uncertainty and the inconsistency we've seen about whether or not there's going to be a lasting ceasefire between the United States, Iran, and also Israel, this leaves you sitting on tenterhooks. I mean, the NPA, is it not?
Yes, it does. For us, first of all, let me say that we as a regulator, yes, we are concerned about the rising cost of fuel. But our major concern is to ensure that the product is available in the first place for us to even talk about the price of the product. And you know what we do at the NPA is to ensure that the one supplying the fuel, which is if you are importing it, and the investor is importing it, where in this case the BDCs, or if oil marketing companies is procuring it to supply the consumer, they are able to recover their costs so that they can continue to supply this product to us. If a refinery is importing crude oil to refine, they should be able to cover their costs so they can continue to buy the product and supply it to us, irrespective of what the price is. And so for us, our mission is to ensure that the pricing is done transparently and fairly for both the supplier and the consumer, and also ensure that the product is available. I'm sure if you remember, when the war started, at the peak of the war, somewhere around May, some countries were struggling to even have access to products. So we as a regulator, our job is to ensure that the product is available in the first place. And then if government, just like it's done today, wants to intervene in the pricing, then the directive comes to us and then we implement that. So we will continue to monitor the market and ensure that the product is priced fairly, and also ensure that the products are always available for us to have access to the product. It will be worse if we don't have the product, so our prices are even still rising. And this is not an issue peculiar to Ghana. Globally, every country is facing this challenge. And so our focus is to make sure consumers always have products to power the economy.
Abbas Ibrahim Tasunte, thank you so much.
Enti Abbas Ibrahim head of pricing ewo NP afemi mo akoti energy expert bi okobo nkomo radio go dem de pa odi nchirimu aba who say brand ya na fuel prices na manfo hye na nte nkomo na because some politicians am dey politics both NDC and MPP NDC opposition and fuel prices because say come dey politics say the MPP for the politics no me I'm just hoping say ke be do level bi danka fuel prices health education in this country can find politics but unfortunately young politicians no almost per politics they could be BM. But young energy experts and Benjamin Insia, or then a boy and commodity fuel prices no fluctuate abusia.
Okay, so anyway, can now. Okay, prices, are very unpredictable, very volatile, very rough. Now the fire from the next minute now I pay them up for sale. But based on this, MP, I should say, every picky sharp prices now you're computing an average. Now they are setting subsequent window prices. Do this window you born a cost year. The picky data no probably from 23rd to somewhere 30th. Sometimes somewhere 27. And the picky average they set it window. Average in the can't diesel on the international market. The average on diesel cost about 23%. Adiananka nebo around 1,000 and then $60 per metric ton.
$1,060 per metric ton.
Now jump here for $1,216 per metric. Petrol now
1,000 here.
216.
216.
Yeah.
From 1,060 to 1,216.
Yeah.
Okay.
Petrol so kind of no bono for and also down by 11%. And also electricity 987 or 1,043. And also airports will get mine so. Now, one of course will get mine so. Ghana a price taker. I was reflected at the form. Tina was all the BDCs now more aircraft going but factor the new reality or the new market price, normally ton or more ex depot. Tina, I was saying in our cost, BDC price of diesel around 14 Ghana cedis per liter. That's not the tax of India account. Petrol no more ton around 10-11 Ghana cedis per liter. That's not the tax account. So we found it 1887 for diesel. It means that we are in a product, 14 Ghana cedis, or the tax is making 18 Ghana cedis, 25 pesos per liter. Turn on the margin there, 50 pesos there, on our turn 1897. Also, we have margin of 50 pesos from also the one to be the on the turn 19 something. Also, our evidence of the 50 pesos account of the matter. That's the reason why I saw this price variation. But in this window, I think most of them are likely not going to sell their margin, especially OMC is no more than 1 Ghana cedi. Most of them are likely to do one or less. The whole German so and then in terms of farm goes so now. Makajambari ba common bank account say cedi no so depreciating about 1%. In the cedi depreciation plus price on the international market and amande bono apejam kakra.
I see. Eti factors no ebino
baako city depreciation say what can say 1% the natural anko then of course senior 23% for diesel and 11% for petrol. Obi so okay, so where you finished products meboa?
Yeah, finished product.
Okay. Na crude na anagana no you use more of the finished product until that one crude no.
Then I have food and set the petroleum prices.
Okay.
Food air raw material. We are used to above for anything.
Okay.
Finish na
Enti ano yenyama aya refineries no.
Yes, yeah, what do you among come?
Enti all the time no say ye kasa ye mo yani finished product no more.
And I'm
Okay. I see. Yenim say enka then na ama sa de we ekoso sa because per figures now dey man. I know the kakra problem here then.
so far over the Gulf, the people, Iran, and a lot of attack either put oil with the supply, especially from that part that onto the market. The corner.
Okay. Yes, I'm for Benjamin Mrabium. I think say nene etwetwasi. Yes, etwetwasi. We are then watch check the other one say if very possible then we know what to do. Because in person may pick data but I'm so many be questions we are go. Na ya shadi enti.
Let me say last one no say premiums on the product because the Asian market, not most of our products, from the Gulf region, the Eastern African market, any South African market, that's also products from the Gulf region. But to point, we don't know put two higher premiums, almost higher values for international product from the West, especially either from America and other from Europe. Nti ama say no okoto product no kana so because okay product no one thing that's why me tier 2 cities because be a product be up on the chrome. Nti ama premiums also arise. Nti the yehu no hanum no ntokwa Donald Trump and Iran for and I say America and Iran for enya and ama world market I distracted when it comes to finished products. And price tickets because historically most of these benchmarks are set by the international market. Yeah, they are there for offer. Being price tickets, cost of German so cost. That is why we are experiencing higher price of petroleum products.
I see. That just I mean to say you are weighing the incompetence of leadership, Anna.
Oh, not at all. The problem is German so until leadership very strategic. In bringing out certain policy reforms in the petroleum downstream, we shall continue to be price takers.
I see. Not just a price takers, always, almost of all, Anna.
Yes, so far, it depends on strategy. I bit me the aboy buying from some of these external shops. And I think that same years they say who are going to make cost my government I intervene, cost no intervene, I think that we need a very flexible fiscal regime in the petroleum downstream. I think that rigid revenue mobilization policy, more very flexible. Automatically, any kind of intervene, but flexibility of the fiscal regime, price no swati because when you create a seal, not a bono air bro. Baby, I would be a bit maha, Timamufu, and also Manfua. Automatically, a bema bona before will be a one in hand.
I see. Intervention as some okay na actual addresses so and chair and a communicate from government by as president ama order. Sir per liter, 2 cities in free so effective ochina. If you look started we are 2 p.m. Other OMCs omo astatia so person omo de eyeduma but As a question I'm praising me bisano. What you can't tell that. The question is for how long? And a binya buying. Say adeno enko na de bia omram. Na akoko nya ban bi asabi. Timamfo no bekem na omfia na ekwa na se bae. The lasting solution here the
The lasting solution is to implement a very flexible fiscal regime so that no enya ban and the better so and obey year free so. And that is what I mean by say there was so minor say fuel price bang and the bema sustain the economy. Fuel price bang and the bema transporters nanka say omu increase fares arbitrary. Fuel price bang and the bema inflation higher bed very stable. So it means that seal now. And they have created the maximum fuel price and the minimum fuel price in its correlation with the whole macroeconomic well-being. Maybe as on my bit mark fuel price, a cost rise 16 Ghana cedis. When you have a very flexible fiscal regime, a fuel price about 16 air could be 17, 18 fiscal policy one kasani very automatic by GRA calibration a better tax so and ya buying a better so and no better so now my fuel price number 16 and now about less than 16. Chance to be a lower threshold be 18. So okay, Ghana pay fuel price more than 18 Ghana cedis. The abbreviation of fuel price through 12 Ghana cedis, 11 Ghana cedis automatically calibration at GRA be adjusted levies upward. Now teaching Ghana cedis or more than so. At any point in time, fuel prices will be between 13 and then 16. And a Babia intimidation within Faho. So it means I think that and ya say never cause never say a bind besoyim. Abribiano system not me and match. If you go to some of the developing countries like China, China fuel the cost will be and they measure their fiscal position based on the seal. And so I think that my Ghana share reform side ama abribia the fuel price and cost will the air cost will say the second part also is that some of this intervention. I also think that regulatory margins to be also I was say essential deal. It appear material radio so meka it can be over a but say you for so papa be free so like life of boss margin, the life primary distribution margin, UPPF can be a manable so because we take your auditor general report for example or the about Nania or 2024 UPPF make a surplus of 1 billion Ghana cedis. 1 billion Ghana cedis simply means that you overpay for some of these things. It is a broader through a bonus cost, which I think that Mebo Paso. Let's go to the margins and cut them because already the consumer is overpaying for these margins. But fortunately, I buy yet the first instance, or intervening 2 Ghana cedis from some of these regulatory margins. Second instance, these was not yet free so. But Yamma Brano, Yamman Indian law. Nayama Mrano, and Yafe na Bibiano by executive instruments and not by a directive do this. A man brate, a Bibia fool bit to Babino. Yes, squatting some of these margins because anyway, I buy the margins Yabroswa. Name send you name first way or petroleum down. So let's address some of these issues like that. Nine so Abua, Ama Bibia fool Nako for Mama.
I see. Yanimsa fan going to cost Ghana. Yeah, one of the beneficiaries because yes, we to be. Anameboa.
Oh no,
Eti yendi no kwa many as be far. Ye be dini ma be 2 years said be ya. Said okay. En konko ba se de bia no aban emra no meji mu.
Okay, so yeah, the unfortunate part is because of CHB Kotono. Say for example, this year say revenue expectation in the 2026 budget,
yes,
was around $1 billion. I buy everybody say target to $1.5 billion because or share born based on $76 per barrel within a 5-year moving average. Inchi a bono echo 90 echo 100 I buy the ones no benyan for so or revise budget to $1.5 billion. And I think $1.5 billion is over realization of a projected. This is over realizing we projected that surplus income now will be generated and revenue na ebano. Me no be address nana we meet me the enubi abe kushin petroleum downstream. Tinne kabia bia ye be born petroleum downstream now as a result of sebia ye some of these margins which I know say kabia but assuming say abai beka say kabeba saka no e meet me offset saka no by say e be ko upstream revenue na ye nya abroso no $500 million na ye be nya abroso no e meet me actively e dey abe support the downstream na ma abebia no kabia medal because we had last time abai intervene Ghana boka about 800 million Ghana cedis.
Wow.
The way so I can say kasa ye another month Ghana with boka almost around 600 million Ghana cedis.
Wow.
600 million Ghana cedis, that's about 1.4 billion. 1.4 billion no. When you compare $500 million, which is about 5 billion or almost 6 billion Ghana cedis a year free upstream as a result of surplus income now. A team 1 billion the support downstream now it wouldn't be bad. See, they are still ways I bet me. I eat taxes not free so. And I think for the margins because taxes sometimes they am running in shut down for so men cut a free so. Yeah, ways they bet me. I a beboa ama yedi upstream revenue and our excess revenue benyano. They be pushing the downstream nama a bono a baby above from Mobia Wayano.
I see. I cover 2 questions now. You are Nessa. Over the weekend. Yes, say refurbishment akoso ama ne to ba bejana na so. I mean so monitor the activities of tour in recent times. Your take on that?
But okay.
Tour week here last week we bedi weekend ya no President Mahama akoko commission project outdoor mu die ne how ato bejana na so. And I'm not told A2 no. And a bit of infrastructure looking at how the international behavior in terms of crude no any finished product in to the future now no a bit of the and that's all.
Oh, I think that's what the I think that so infrastructure kind the product availability available product level ama yetimi aton already we don't experience much shortages in Ghana because private importers may find ways to get the products look to the market but also ebe started now or refinery ebe shemu kenase abribian we are sure that we have 30% of our demand being met in year plus. In terms of pricing, so Tony sent you 8 about 80% of our demand. I think that we need a new pricing regime in the petroleum downstream, where pricing regime may take out some of these landed costs here because of the imported products now abroad. We need to address the issue of landed costs because domestic production, from domestic crude, will have comparatively cheaper landed costs compared to some imported products now abroad. Even premiums, and so I will say determine what we call premiums in our domestic refinery market, and so I will say determines and also be comparatively cheaper. And say to refinery comparatively a bono bit me but a bono be for Casia benefit here, unless maybe Tony sent you to me about 80% of our daily
consumption or demand.
Yes, a bit me aboa. Now, Tono, there be a car, you only energy security aspect, petroleum energy security aspect. But we are also be great in my macroeconomic stability and then socio-economic benefit. I know your entire can want them, but I think we also need to stress it because Toya Juma, only sent you a couple of no more Juma, $1 be stable, dollar is stable. Fuel price no is stable at my end. Fuel price is stable. Inflation bit my stable at my end. Inflation is stable my end. Interest rate is stable at my end. Now for industrialization because the cost of credit be quite stable. Now ma BBI in terms of Numa Airpa MOBI Honging Hano. So store is critical to the macroeconomic stability of Ghana, and I think that mine will say the initial tour. Now the second part in terms of socio-economic impact and as a benefit, Numa be creating whether direct or indirect jobs, indirect jobs any direct jobs be reducing unemployment rate, am I and to reduce, practically, at least some people will get jobs because you are going to create jobs anyway. Omu creating jobs it reduces dependency ratio because obi wa oni adwuma or depending me near sabiga so anaze me near boache so na wadidi but so no oja adwuma oto a on depending mo so biom ti on depending mo so nso a and so boa ma mutimi save invest na you create more wealth for many Ghanaians. And, socio-economic impact also is very enormous in terms of job creation, poverty reduction for some households, and also reduction in dependency ratio for some households. And aside that, the whole economy within the Tema enclave will benefit because we'll be a kwakuya juma and answer for BA shops, BA shops, airton, near my airton, now it boosts the local economy of that particular area. So I think that TOR is back. It has come to stay, and I can be a bamuno and support not TOR engineer because it's a going concern. We should hope that it is commercially viable at all times, very profitable at all times, very efficient at all times, so that all these benefits are edible society and our economy will be
Ben, you're the best.
Enti energy expert Benjamin Insia and Amotin and Elia Moti Abbas Ibrahim, head of pricing our MP and committee program AC NTB and Anajan to Mobatin on this particular subject right here on Sokatwa Show. Most of for Steve Zanoni, me pacho subscribe, we are level comment in the comment section. Bye bye.